Have you ever wondered why some men believe they have the right to cross boundaries that were never theirs to begin with? When her sister's son entered the bathroom while she was bathing, it wasn't just a door that opened, it was her sense of safety, her dignity, her right to be unseen and untouched that was invaded. And isn't that exactly what happens in so many women's lives every single day? The invasion doesn't always come with a knock or a loud noise. Sometimes it arrives quietly, hidden in the eyes that stare too long, in the comments that dress themselves up as jokes, in the silences that allow the behavior to continue. When a man crosses that line, he is not simply walking into a room, he is stepping into a woman's sense of worth, her confidence, her trust in the world around her. And what is even more devastating is that often it's not strangers who do this. It's the people closest to us, the ones we are supposed to feel safest around, a sister's son, a relative, a family friend. Suddenly, a woman realizes that even home, the place meant to be her shelter, can become a battlefield for her dignity. Men's obsession with women has been normalized for centuries. Society teaches them that a woman's body is something they can look at, talk about, even enter without permission. And women are taught to stay silent, to swallow the shame, to pretend nothing happened. But the truth is, the shame never belonged to her. The shame belongs to the one who intruded, to the one who thought curiosity or desire gave him permission to disregard her humanity. Think about it. How many women carry stories like this inside them? Stories they never speak of. Stories they bury because they fear being judged, misunderstood, or blamed. And yet, every silent story weighs on the soul, shaping the way a woman looks at herself in the mirror, shaping how she trusts, how she loves, how she walks through the world. The act may last a moment, but the memory becomes a shadow that follows her everywhere. So what should women do? The first step is to remember that your body is yours, your space is yours, your privacy is yours. You are not obligated to stay quiet, just to keep peace. Silence may protect someone else's comfort, but it steals your healing. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it is survival. Speaking out is not weakness. It is reclaiming the power that was stolen from you. When you call out the intrusion, when you refuse to normalize the violation, you teach not only men, but also other women that dignity is non-negotiable. And to every woman listening, know this: men who obsess over you are not drawn by love, they are driven by entitlement. And entitlement is not affection, it is violence dressed in softer clothing. You cannot change how they think, but you can change how you respond. You can build walls where doors used to be. You can teach your daughters to guard their boundaries fiercely and your sons to respect them without question. Because when her sister's son entered the bathroom while she was bathing, it wasn't just her story. It became a mirror for every woman who has ever felt exposed against her will. And the lesson is clear. Your body is not a public place. Your privacy is not a suggestion. And your silence is not an option. Speak, resist, defend. Because the moment you stop treating violations as small things, the world begins to treat you as the powerful, untouchable force you truly are. Have you ever asked yourself why silence hurts more than words sometimes? When her sister's son entered the bathroom while she was bathing, the act was shocking. But what cut deeper was the silence that followed. No one questioned him. No one defended her. No one acknowledged the violation. And that is the kind of silence women know too well. The silence that comes when men cross boundaries, and everyone else acts as if nothing happened. It is this silence that teaches women to shrink themselves, to swallow pain, to carry shame that never belonged to them. Family silence is one of the cruelest betrayals, because the people who are supposed to protect you become the ones who make you feel most unprotected. Imagine the young girl sitting there, shaken and exposed, looking around for someone to say, "That was wrong, and you deserved better." But instead, she finds only quietness, the kind of quiet that says, "Your dignity doesn't matter enough to disturb the peace." This is how obsession grows unchecked, because boys learn that they can stare, they can enter, they can intrude, and no one will hold them accountable. And isn't that what women experience in the larger world too? The silence of a workplace when a comment is made. The silence of a family when harassment happens. The silence of a society that says, "Don't make it a big deal." Yet every silence is a loud message to the woman. Endure it, because your comfort is less important than theirs. And every silence is also a message to men. Do it again. No one will stop you. Men's obsession with women doesn't always begin with desire. It often begins with entitlement. They grow up seeing how women are treated, how their discomfort is brushed aside, how their no is softened into maybe. They learn that curiosity is excused, that mistakes are forgiven without consequences, that a woman's pain is not urgent, and if silence keeps repeating itself, entitlement turns into obsession, because the boy who entered the bathroom learns that no one will ever tell him that her privacy matters more than his impulse. So what should women do? The first step is to break the silence that was forced upon them. Speak even when others remain quiet. Confront even when it feels uncomfortable, because silence protects no one but the offender. You may fear judgment, but judgment is lighter than the weight of carrying unspoken pain. And when you speak, you give permission for other women to speak too, creating an echo that grows stronger than the silence ever was. Do not let anyone convince you that keeping quiet makes you stronger. Silence only makes the violator stronger. Your words are not noise, they are boundaries. Your voice is not trouble, it is healing. And when you break silence, you are not just protecting yourself, you are teaching men that obsession will not be fed by quiet acceptance. When her sister's son entered the bathroom while she was bathing, the act itself was a wound. But the silence afterward was salt poured into it. And that is why you must never let silence speak louder than your truth. Because the moment you replace silence with courage, the cycle of obsession loses its power, and the dignity that was stolen begins to return to you. Have you ever noticed how quickly women begin to blame themselves for something that was never their fault? When her sister's son entered the bathroom while she was bathing, she froze, not because she had done anything wrong, but because in that moment, shame was handed to her like a heavy garment she never asked to wear. And that is the cruel reality women face. When a man crosses a boundary, society often shifts the burden of guilt onto her shoulders, making her carry the weight of someone else's actions. Shame is one of the most powerful tools used against women, and it is one of the most unfair. The boy who intruded did not feel the crushing embarrassment. He did not leave the room with questions swirling about his dignity or his worth. No, she did. She left feeling dirty, exposed, wondering if she could have prevented it somehow. That is the psychology of misplaced shame. The offender walks away untouched, while the victim is left to heal from wounds she didn't cause. And isn't that what happens on a larger scale when men obsess over women? They comment, they stare, they invade, and then they walk away without a second thought, while the woman lies awake at night replaying the moment, asking herself what she did to invite it. But here's the truth you need to hear. Nothing you did, nothing you wore, nothing about who you are invited it. His choice to disrespect your privacy was his, and the shame belongs to him, not you. When women carry this kind of shame, it changes the way they see themselves. It makes them smaller, quieter, more hesitant. They begin to cover themselves not only with clothing, but with fear. They silence their laughter so it doesn't draw attention. They dull their brightness so it doesn't attract stares. But living in shame is like living in a prison built by someone else's mistake. And the only way out is to refuse to accept ownership of what never belonged to you. So what should women do when shame tries to sit on their shoulders? The first step is to name it for what it is. Say to yourself, "This is not mine. I did not create this. I refuse to carry it." The second step is to push the weight back where it belongs. If a man disrespected you, let him own the embarrassment. Let him own the discomfort. Let him be the one who cannot sleep at night. Not you. You are not responsible for his lack of control or his lack of respect. Men's obsession thrives when women carry the shame silently. It thrives when women believe they must hide. But when you refuse to accept misplaced guilt, when you stand tall and say, "This was not my fault," you starve that obsession of its power. You show the world that you will not shrink for anyone's mistakes. When her sister's son entered the bathroom while she was bathing, she was forced to hold a shame that did not belong to her. And that is the lesson every woman must take. Do not let anyone hand you shame like an inheritance. It is not yours. It never was. You are not defined by the violation. You are defined by the strength it takes to walk forward without carrying what was never meant to be yours. And that strength, your refusal to bear false shame, is the very thing that will set you free. Have you ever wondered why the people who hurt us the most often look the most innocent? When her sister's son entered the bathroom while she was